I've decided to start a new life without you." The words floated in the air of the upscale restaurant where we had gathered to celebrate my daughter's college graduation. Daniel, my husband of 28 years, stood with his champagne glass still raised, his shocking declaration replacing the toast he was supposed to give in honor of Sophia's accomplishments. The clinking of silverware stopped. Conversations froze mid-sentence. 50 pairs of eyes flicked between Daniel and me, waiting for the tears, the screaming, the dramatic scene they were sure would follow. But I smiled. "Congratulations on your honesty. My name is Elena Whitmore. I am 54 years old, and until this moment, I had been playing the role of the dutiful wife and devoted mother flawlessly. I had set aside my own ambitions to support Daniel through 3 failed businesses, 2 career pivots, and countless, finding himself, phases. I raised our brilliant daughter, Sophia, who sat beside me now, her graduation cap still tilted on her head, her face frozen in disbelief. From the corner of my eye, I noticed Madeline Grant, Daniel's much younger girlfriend, sitting at the back table with people I had called friends for decades. Friends who apparently knew about the affair and never breathed a word. The same Madeline who had attended our holiday parties, who had once called me for career advice. With practiced composure, I reached into my handbag and pulled out a sealed cream-colored envelope. I set it gently beside Daniel's plate. "What's this?" he asked, his smug expression faltering. "Something for you to read later," I said, my voice even. I turned to Sophia, whose face had gone pale. I kissed her cheek. "I am so proud of you, sweetheart. Today is still about you." Then I rose, smoothed the skirt of my dress, and addressed the room. "Please enjoy your meal. I hope you all have a lovely afternoon." With that, I walked out of the restaurant, head high, feeling 50 pairs of eyes trailing me. The heavy door swung shut behind me, cutting off the anxious murmurs rising inside. Outside, the Charleston summer heat pressed against me like a wall, but for the first time in years, I could breathe. Behind me, I heard the restaurant door slam open, followed by Daniel's voice, no longer confident but high-pitched and panicked. "Elena! What the hell is this? What have you done?" I kept walking, allowing myself a small smile. The envelope I had handed him contained the opening move of my revenge, one I had been planning in silence for months. For years, I had been the stabilizer in our marriage. While Daniel chased dreams, I made sure our family never collapsed. I was the one who saved for Sophia's tuition when Daniel gambled on his friend's failing restaurant. I was the one who worked extra hours as a finance manager when Daniel quit his steady job to pursue a passion for building furniture that lasted less than a year. My dream, launching my own financial consultancy for women, was always postponed. After Sophia graduates, I told myself. After Daniel finds stability. 3 months ago, I noticed discrepancies in our accounts. Small transfers to an unfamiliar bank. To anyone else, the numbers would have blended in. To me, with decades of financial expertise, they screamed betrayal. I could have confronted him immediately. But instead, I watched. Quietly. Carefully. What I uncovered was worse than I ever expected. Daniel had been funneling money into a separate account for over a year. He had been taking Madeline to expensive restaurants, buying her jewelry, and even touring beachfront properties, while lecturing me about tightening our belts for retirement. The final proof came when he left his phone unlocked, a string of texts with Madeline, making plans for the very day after Sophia's graduation. The day he had chosen to publicly discard me. But Daniel underestimated me. He forgot I was a financial professional with 30 years of experience, that I understood how to follow money trails. And most importantly, he forgot about the prenuptial agreement he had insisted upon nearly 3 decades ago. A prenup with a fidelity clause. While Daniel played at escaping, I was building my case. I hired attorneys, documented every shady transfer, gathered proof of his affair, and filed divorce papers. All timed so that by the time he made his grand announcement, his new life was already crumbling. I didn't go back to the restaurant. I drove straight home to our colonial-style house, the one Daniel had already promised Madeline, according to texts he didn't realize I had read. Inside, everything looked the same: family photos, my father's old grandfather clock, the leather couch we once cuddled on. But everything had changed. In the closet, I found his suitcases, already packed for his departure. Typical Daniel, meticulous with clothes, reckless with everything else. My phone buzzed relentlessly with messages, friends fishing for gossip, Sophia in panic, Daniel's sister Caroline begging for answers. I replied only to my daughter. "I'm okay. This isn't yours to carry. Enjoy your graduation. We'll talk tonight. I love you." I had shielded her from the truth for months. She would be angry. But one day, she would understand. 3 hours later, Daniel stormed into the house, red-faced, the envelope clenched in his hand. "You served me with divorce papers? On today of all days." "I thought it fit nicely with your plans," I replied coolly. "You had no right." "I had every right. Just like you had the right to choose Madeline. We all make choices, Daniel." His smugness returned. "The prenup expired years ago. Any lawyer will tell you that." I smiled. "Actually, it didn't. Section 12 states the fidelity clause lasts the entire marriage. Your lawyer should have explained that." "Oh wait, you didn't consult one, did you?" The color drained from his face. The very prenup he once demanded to protect his money would now strip him of nearly everything. "You can't do this to me. You already did this to yourself." That night, I packed a bag and left for Caroline's bungalow. She welcomed me with open arms, already furious with her brother. She had caught him with Madeline months earlier and warned him to stop. He hadn't. Over wine, I explained everything: the prenup, the affair, the frozen accounts. Caroline laughed bitterly. "The irony is perfect. He insisted on that prenup, and now it's the rope tightening around his neck." Not long after, Sophia arrived, makeup smudged, graduation dress wrinkled from tears. She collapsed in my arms. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't want to ruin your last semester," I whispered. She pulled back, eyes blazing. "Well, Dad ruined it himself." Days later, Daniel appeared at Caroline's door, with Madeline in tow. "Elena, you need to stop this. Unfreeze the accounts. We can be reasonable." Sophia stepped forward. "Reasonable? You humiliated Mom at my graduation. And you told me we were broke while you were buying jewelry for her." Daniel faltered. Madeline's eyes darted nervously. "Greg," she started, but he silenced her with a glare. Caroline crossed her arms. "My sister-in-law is the only rational one here. You created this circus." I stayed calm. "The accounts stay frozen until the judge decides." 3 days. 3 days. Daniel sputtered. "Your personal account should cover you," I said sweetly. Madeline snapped her head toward him. "Personal account? With how much?" The cracks spread fast. Even his mistress realized he had lied to her, too. By the preliminary hearing, Daniel's arrogance had wilted. His lawyer, a nervous corporate associate, was no match for my attorney. The judge upheld the prenup, froze the accounts, and left me in possession of the house. Daniel's carefully constructed world collapsed. The beachfront property deal died. The luxury car order was cancelled. 2 weeks later, Caroline called me, chuckling. "Madeline's gone. She found out Daniel doesn't have the money he promised." Of course she had. Daniel's illusions never lasted long. Meanwhile, I rented an office and launched my consultancy, Whitmore Financial Transitions, helping women navigate finances through divorce and loss. My first clients came quickly, and for the first time in decades, I wasn't just surviving. I was thriving. The final divorce hearing fell on what would have been our 29th anniversary. The judge awarded me the home, my retirement, and the majority of our assets. Daniel was left with his personal account and the remains of his failing business. The prenup he once clutched as his shield had become his downfall. As we left court, Daniel stopped me. "I made a terrible mistake. Is there any chance?" "No," I cut him off gently. "That door is closed." For once, he understood. 6 months later, my consultancy had grown. Sophia visited often, proud. "You know what's funny?" she said one afternoon. "If Dad had just been honest, he might have walked away with half." "Sometimes," I replied, "people destroy themselves by reaching too far." The envelope I handed Daniel that day hadn't just ended my marriage. It opened the door to a new life, one where I wasn't just someone's wife or someone's mother. I was Elena Whitmore, survivor, strategist, and finally, free.